Smashville Open Semifinals. Team lights out. Nate Miller, Herschel, and Max Martin against Will Kraft, Landon Krause, and Mike Smolinski. Overpass for the early transition look. Nate Miller high off the hands. Productive block touch. On two for Smo. Sees the open court. Goes over on two with the lefty option. Pass to the moon. Herschel in rhythm over the shoulder back to Max. Well lined up by Landon. Go back to him. No blocker up. Blows it up for the point. Uh-oh, you heard it there from the crowd. The surprise attack with no blocker up. Not the ideal setup against the heavy hit from there. Ace serve from Max Martin. The sidewinder, dropping short, your ball, my ball. Backs it up with another ace. But wait, on a foot fault call. The setter, Mike, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Watching any tight approach and tight takeoff. Calling it and backed up by fans. Saving the point for his squad. 4-3 at the first switch. In rhythm pass, multiple options, high into the hands, over the top of the shallow defender. Point for Landon. Mike back to serve. Into the lap of Max. Passed a little bit short. Herschel sidewinder. Max in rhythm, but not able to score it. Herschel, one of the best in the world. Watch his footwork there. Still able to play that ball above his head. Squaring up the feet to the outside. And with the twisty motion, still know exactly where his hitter needs to play that ball from. Just an interesting setter footwork strategy form that works so well. Scoopy nugget for Kraft. Terminated in transition. Look at that no-doubter swing. Smiles around it. What a great play from Kraft. Reading from D first. Pass to the left. Max flies in, even with the negative step towards Kraft. Able to surprise. Landon with the early pressure. Pass tight. Mike with the option on two. Landon heavy serve into Max. Pass tight. Twisty set. Oh! Space down the line for Max for the early point. 7-7 at the next switch. So put Kraft back at the serve. Heavy hit. Pass over the right. Fadeaway set from Herschel. Gets the defense to the desired one blocker setup, but hesitation from Landon. Watch that footwork. Shuffle, 1-2, 1-2. Not quite able to get his best jump. Not quite able to line up exactly on Nate. And not quite able to press over firmly into that angle. Aggressive drop not working to their advantage in the end with such a phenomenal set from Herschel. Set into space. Now down the line for Kraft. And over the top from Nate. Two clean side-outs exchange. Puts Nate Miller back to serve. Heavy hit to the sideline of Landon. Pass to the moon. Back to the matchup. Look at that come flying in. In rhythm ball from the bumpers from Mike. Landon laughing to the crowd saying he's got OT and he wants that ball. He likes that matchup. Should have been focused on the next serve though. You'll learn, rookie. Kraft in rhythm. Now one blocker over the top again for Landon. Running the two ball in front this time. Kraft serve down the line. Herschel looking over his shoulder. High ball over the top for Nate. Herschel to the hands of Landon. Perfect pass. In rhythm bomb for Kraft. Switching sides, 11-10. These teams really just exchanging blows. No separation. Feeling each other out early. Translation look again from Kraft after the productive block touch. Blown into the hands, cross body. All right, we'll check the footwork this time. Patience, balance, one crossover, jump, gets up a little bit higher, able to line up a little bit better, able to get over the net for the productive block touch. Just the discipline and form from a blocker's perspective can make all the difference in the end result of that touch. Sells out into the seam. One option look here. Bombed in the angle. Tripled up. They all look at each other confused on defense. Did he have the read wrong? Did he miss the blocker call? Out of system. Over the shoulder look from 10 feet off from Max. Scoop down the line by Kraft. Force back to Smo. Nobody up. Can't be converted. Set the setter and get a good look. Just unable to convert. In system for Kraft. Easy point. Hasn't been much separation from these teams. Maybe a slight pass and slight dig advantage for the far side. Pass to the 30-foot line, shoved up to the net. 1-2 bunny hop. What footwork there from Landon. On a Tight ball, what was a great defensive look for teams lights out, just unable to convert. Instead, we switch sides at 15-13, and the transition ball converted, now making it 16-13. Watch this back, just lines it up, gets a touch, and the fadeaway set comes out clean as a nugget. What a defensive point again for the Wisconsin boys. Talk about, do they want a timeout? Not. They get organized. They go with no timeout. In rhythm here. Big double block setup. Ran down and read by Smo. Underset drastically by Landon. Almost a free ball back the other way. 1-amp step by Mike again. Now a more instinctual set. Not able to think, but just run down a non-assistant ball. Shoved up to the net like a nugget. And Kraft puts it away. 17-13. Still no timeout. Now a massive amount of separation. Overpass, draws the block. Option over to Kraft for the easy point and score. 18-13. A major run from Smo on the service line. Get into desperation mode. Heavy hit from Nate. Passed up to the moon. OT to 6 to the score. A serve. No, still disputing talking the score here. I don't know if Landon called it wrong. They needed to correct him or they just weren't organized. Out of bounds on the replay. A massive break for teams lights out. Followed up by an ace. 16-19. Not done yet. Max with another heavy hit. In rhythm from Smo back to Landon over the top, but out of bounds wide. 17-19. Kraft, full sellout, passed all the way to the left sideline. Shoved up high and tight, over the top for Landon. No doubter, clutch kill with the moment called for at most. Passed out of system for Nate. Set up tight. Too physical, right through the blocker and the digger. 18-20, last chance. Herschel passed in rhythm. Landon, no doubter, close to the door for set one. 21-18, goes to the Wisconsin boys. After the mid-game separation there, mainly from some crazy defensive looks, it almost felt like the momentum shifted back to lights out. We'll see if set two, they're able to leverage that. Exchanging some clean side outs to start. 1-1. Max back to serve. Pass to the moon, but up at the net. Mike falls a little bit out of rhythm for Landon. Even more out of rhythm for Nate, but he's going to score it anyway with the Nucky. 2-1. Max again working on Kraft's sideline. Set back to the matchup over the top. Watch this one back. Triple up into the angle. Herschel doing everything he can just to touch and provide some resistance for the digger to run it down. Smo with the hands this time. Clean kill to the back line. Kraft's turn. Scuddy ball. Well watched by Max. 4-3 at the first side switch. Landon wanted to play it, but he had a wise take. Missing just a foot out of bounds for Nate. High swing over the top. Well read by Smo. Backhand flipper. Into the angle. No doubt on that one from Nate. Pass again. Kraft down the line for an easy score. Served into the seam. In rhythm. Perfect pass. Handball. Tempo out there. Easy kill. And in rhythm to Smo. Easy kill for the Wisconsin boys. Kind of look at these teams. The sideouts are becoming so easy, and the passings have been such a high level. Ran down by Nate's. Gonna be an option ball. Maybe a bit too aggressive, too low. Gonna be a point for lights out. 8-6 at the switch. To finish my point, it kind of leads teams to think what you got to do defensively and either crank up the aggression from the service line or maybe switch up and surprise the defense with some double ups or double blocks, try to catch them off guard because these hitters are just in such rhythm right now. Max diving into the angle, does it all himself. First with the serve, taking out Landon and making the harder set all the way over the shoulder. And the read on Kraft for the defensive block. Early 3-point lead. Nate chirping through the net, heating up, starting to kill everything that comes his way. Scooped by Max. One-arm chicken wing out. High ball from 10 feet off. Fadeaway swing from Nate, and he still scores it in transition. 13-19. Exactly what you were hoping to see if you were team lights out. Looking for Nate to get hot, and the determination and physicality abilities to start to separate this match and win it at the net. Max with the heavy swing. Keeping the big advantage. Landon, big swing into the angle, snipes the sideline. Mike out to end serve, falls into the lap of Max. Heavy physical swing, scored by Nate. Into the lap for Max, pass to the moon, but another foot fault. Misses short. We're switching sides, 16-12 off the physical play and high hitting efficiency from lights out. Kind of feel it there, or maybe Kraft and Landon and Smo are pressing a little bit, knowing that they got to do something special from the service line, with Nate just terminating everything. A full double block setup. It's almost like it's invisible for him. He's able to go pick it off and hit into the angle. And a service ace for Max. Blowing set 2 open here. Passed high and tight. Mike's going to get a swing on it, but blocked by Nate. Another defensive point. Switching sides at 15-20. All but a formality at this point. We're going 3. Going the distance. It's taken some crazy defensive plays just to get a look in transition. Leaves you wondering if these teams will crank up the service aggression or maybe play defense with a little more risk. And an ace serve from Nate. Right on cue to start it off. Passing 3 back there now. Goes away from the setter. Blows up Kraft past the 30-foot line. Space down the line. Again, looking confused as how they were all bunched up in the angle, leaving such an opening. One-arm stab from Smo. Can it be run down? Yes, it can. Fade away. Crawl on the slide. Chop for the kill. What a crazy look and conversion. Watch this one back one more time. First, the defensive range. Getting that ball, the outstretch of his hand all the way in 6. Laying on the ground, not even sure if his teammates are going to be able to get there. Late to get up, full fadeaway dive with the slide into the perfect spot for the score. 2-1. In rhythm, no doubter for Nate. Right through the blocker. Pass tight, will he get the swing? He gets the swing, but an even better block by Nate. One-arm Kong as he flexes. Yeah, I work out. 3-2 at the first side switch, and a tape serve from Max. Puts Landon back in the line, and an ace! Right where we were thinking defensive points were so hard to come by. We're seeing crazy Kong blocks, defensive stabs, lined up by Landon. Runs up to the net, and he scores it! What a play. First the read and alignment, and then the ability to terminate it in transition. Herschel, volley, look at that serve drop. Full sellout from Landon, shoves it in rhythm right to Mike's hands. The score, 6-4 switch. Pass to high and tight, high physical swing right into the face of Landon for the score for Max. The bumpers, shoved to the line, fadeaway swing over the top for Landon. Smo with the 2-point advantage, going all the way over at the other sideline for Nate. Full sellout, chopped down the line for the score. Good vision to hit to the open space. Oh, Max thought he had that one. I think Landon was jammed and he let it go. Fortunate break, it was just a foot out of bounds. Double block again. Well lined up in the angle is Landon. Fadeaway swings, stuck by Herschel. Shoved over the net, essentially a free ball. Floated pass goes Max, and he blows it up into the chest for another transition point. Now making 9-6 at the next switch. Perfect pass, double block setup again. Landon sitting in the angle. Over the top adjustment from Nate for the easy score. Hands pass, passed a little bit low. Stuck by Max, over on 1 for the score. What a fortunate break for lights out. Float serve into the seam again. Taken by Landon. Trying to run the spread offense. Both hitters go wide. Slightly underset. Will Kraft not able to get his feet there. Blows it into low angle. Look at this bounce. We'll have to watch this one back. Ricochets both off the left arm of Nate. Watch this. Both into the left arm and then into the right arm. And it just so happens to go right into Landon's lap where he passes it quick enough to Kraft. Max doing the oh shit run up to the net. Been there before. There's just nothing you can do to put up any resistance and do a fortunate break for the score for the Wisconsin boys. Side out for Max. What will be the source of defensive point? Chopped over. Shows up high for Landon. No, it's going to be Mike. Chopped into the block for the score. What a side out. You can see the frustration from Nate, thinking he had the ace there on the choppy. Snipe to the sideline for Mike. Pass to the 25-foot line. Full fadeaway set from Herschel. Bomb down the line from Nate from 15 feet off. Stuck by Snow, but a net violation. Bombed into the sideline of Kraft. How are these balls not aces? Passing range from everyone selling up, giving up their body to not give up the ace. Transition look, flipped back to Max. Both blockers sell out for Nate. Physical swing into the ankle. Down into the seam for the score. Kraft passed all the way to the left sideline, having to look over his shoulder, find space down the line. A ballsy, clutch swing to keep the 2-point advantage. Curveball from Landon into the seam. Full sellout from Max. Put up high and tight. Look at this swing. Chirp through the net. Look at this back. Again, first, how is that not an ace? The full sellout. Then the fadeaway set. All three contacts just so high level. And the fun the boys are having out there, acknowledging quite the side out there. And the great swing from Nate. Passed all the way to Kraft, goes to the near side, keeps it high off the hands. What a clutch swing to keep the advantage. 13-12. Pass tight, set tight, landing the good feet and even stronger hands to win the joust. Oh, the athleticism. He legitimately jumps with the setter, able to shuffle over and still get his shoulders up above the net. The athleticism. Kraft now on match point. Where will he go? You see the blocker calls there, both into the angle. High jam ball off Max, able to get to the one blocker setup. Bombed into Kraft's face, he digs it up to Smoke. Rolls up a nugget, gonna be a look. Blown up into Herschel. There's your dagger. Advancing to the finals. Goes to the Wisconsin boys.